The big story making the rounds this week, the selection by the government of a preferred bidder for the expansion of the TB Letsam International Airport's runway. That preferred bidder status has been awarded to Chinese firm China Communications Construction Company CCC. Now, they were one of two final bidders. They outbid Ideal McAlpine Group, which involved local players, and they will now be responsible for the expansion of this runway from 4,645 feet to 7,100 feet. But for some time now, there have been several concerns about this airport expansion project, and those concerns have been expressed by residents as well as local contractors. And what we're hearing is that reportedly some of these concerns are also being expressed within the cabinet of Premier and Finance Minister Dr. D. Orlando Smith. Kathy, this project may very well have a lot riding on it for the NDP administration. And while it is that a lot of persons are saying things, voicing their concerns off the record or, one away, at the end of the day, the reality is that we have a challenge getting persons to say these things publicly. But our job here at JTV is to keep the discussion going, keep the free flow of information going so that our viewers can make informed assessments of their own. And we'll begin with two of the strongest concerns that have been voiced. That of why is it that this foreign entity has been chosen to execute this contract here in the BVI, and what are the concessions that are to be granted or are being discussed regarding CCCC. And we'll begin with the opposition leader who sought to have some of these concessions queries answered in Parliament recently on December 9 from the Premier.
I just want to make sure that I'm not being misunderstood. All the taxes of all income taxes, all Social Security, all NHI, and work permit fees are expected to be paid by whoever the contractor is.
No, Madam Speaker, that's not what I said. I said that no special concessions are currently being considered. Negotiations are still expected to continue with whoever the successful bidder is.
So you're saying that this is in play? Concessions on these matters are in play during the negotiations. They're on the table for negotiations.
No, Madam Speaker, I'm saying that no special concessions are currently being considered.
So, Peter Gay, you see there, these are concerns that contractors have also expressed with us here at GTV. Some are particularly concerned about CCCC not having to pay Social Security, not having to pay NHI, not having to pay payroll taxes and work permits, because they feel that these are some of the things that they are negotiating with the government for. And this is just what they are saying. They're also concerned that this is why the CCC, the Chinese, has been able to bid at such a low cost of 154 million, as opposed to Ideal McAlpine, who has bid in the vicinity of $199 million. They're also concerned, they're talking a lot about this one, that the Chinese are looking to build a camp on Beef Island in which to house their workers during the phase of this project. And so these are things that are not going down too well with contractors and residents alike.
And those contractors, Kathy, those local contractors have also expressed concern about the history of CCCC with the World Bank. Now, what happened with that, which is why they have certain reservations about CCCC being allowed to execute this major project for the BVI economy. The World Bank in 2011 banned CCCC from participating in any bridge projects in which it is involved, because the CCCC was found to have allegedly participated in some malpractice in a road works project in the Philippines. And so that's another area that's of concern to local interests. Let's now move on to another area that persons are discussing regarding this airport expansion project, that of the benefits that are to redound to BVI residents and the BVI economy. In that press release on Boxing Day that the government sent out, the Premier expressed that, quote, without the extension to the runway, new initiatives like our health tourism, the new BVI International Arbitration Center, and attracting new investors in tourism and financial services cannot succeed in providing additional revenue, jobs, and business opportunities. Tourism can only be competitive if tourists can access the BVI easily. It is currently very inconvenient and expensive to visit the BVI. The Premier also continued that the territory cannot afford to ignore the air access needs of our tourism sector, since 62% of the aggregate economic activity in the territory is generated by tourism. Neither can we depend on other jurisdictions where we cannot guarantee the quality of the experience to our tourists. The Premier also added that the expansion of the runway at TB Letsum is significant because of the recent pullout of American Eagle from Puerto Rico, which also guaranteed a steady stream of flights to the BVI.
Peter Gay, look, persons are saying that the government, yes, they do agree that we need to at some stage expand the runway at the airport, but they're saying at this time, considering the financial state of the economy, that they're biting off too big. This is what they feel. They think that if the government should look at a second option of investing probably in three new large ferry service that can commute from St. Thomas to the BVI, that at this stage will see a significant boost to the economy of the BVI. They are also thinking that at this stage, the government will have to seek a major loan to fund this project. And if this is to be done to the extent that they are assuming it has to be done, the government will find themselves in a position where they cannot do further borrowing for capital works in the BVI.
Kathy, another thing that residents in the BVI would also like to be communicated with them is the facts that have informed the Premier and his administration to arrive at the conclusions that they have regarding the benefits that are to, arrive for the BVI from this runway expansion project. Another area of concern is this 3-month window that the government has said that this contract with CCCC is to be concluded within. Now, what persons have said to us and are saying on the ground is that they want to know how much of the concerns that we've addressed in the big story have been addressed or explored prior to this stage, and how much of it will be addressed to the benefit of the BVI, the economy, and the creation of jobs and earnings going forward.
Yes.
And so here at the big story, we look forward to see how the circumstances surrounding this runway expansion project unfolds in 2017 and going forward. And we'll definitely bring you the details as they come to us. That's it for the big story here on JTV News. On behalf of Kathy, I'm Peter Gay Coombs saying see you next week. For many, having a cheerful and bright Christmas hinged on hopes of being winners of several noteworthy prizes promoted by corporate BVI. There were cash and motor vehicles to be won from CCT, Digicel, horse racing, and the Red Cross. Kathy Richards has the roundup.
It was an afternoon into night fun pack competition among 8 CCT customers. They had to make their way from peg legs to Captain Mulligan's, trot the tire run, fill a CCT bottle with water, thread a small needle, drink 3 bottles of water, send a text to a specific number, and finally chow down a Captain Mulligan's burger of their choice. This was done as they competed for the coveted prize of $7,000, but it was Alex Fia Barry who emerged the winner.
I thought I would have had more time on my end, but I did it in the shortest time and I was shocked. Yes. And me who lazy to exercise.
Over at Digicel's flagship store, there was another level of hype as the company brought the curtains down on their Get Gifted promotion. At the end of it all, 12-year-old Riley Vanderpool won the scooter and John Winston won the $10,000 grand prize. As part of Get Gifted, many customers won themselves other prizes including Bluetooth speakers, tablets, a flat screen television, smartphones, and free credits. Meanwhile, some sparkling new wheels will be putting rubber to asphalt in 2017. Kenneth Dawson of Ballast Bay on Christmas Eve took home a brand new black and silver 2017 Hyundai Tucson valued at $34,000. His winning was part of the Rotary Club of Tortola's annual fundraising raffle, which took place at Delta Petroleum in Passia. Then on Boxing Day, Rodney Simmons called himself a gamble fanatic after purchasing $1,000 worth of tickets, which resulted in him winning a brand new Audi SUV courtesy of the BVI Horse Owners Association and Tortola Auto Group raffle. And early in December, Rupert Vanderpool of Buck's Food Market on Virgin Gorda won a red Nissan X-Trail 2016 in the BVI Red Cross Society's fundraising raffle. For JTV News, I'm Kathy Richards.
Now that's what you call a Merry Christmas. Up next in our Medical Minute, how healthy is your fridge? Dr. Geronimo Jones is next with that report from the Mayo Clinic. Stay tuned.